that have not come to us. Now you want to overly compensate for people who never lived here before, and we need to be taken care of first and foremost before anything else happens here.
As you can see from my reaction in that particular clip, I was pretty much just not understanding how in the world can these people who vote for Democrats at a 90% clip continue to go back and vote for them every single election cycle, and yet they expect something to happen differently. I just don't understand it. You're not going to get any sympathy, not from me. You're not going to get any sympathy from Republicans, and you're definitely not going to get any sympathy from the party that openly hates you.
Funny how that works.
Now, I recently came to that conclusion because that's how you're treated. You're treated not only with being just totally oblivious to your needs, but you're being treated in contempt, putting your issues, your policies, your values, your communities, all of those things that you value the most, those things are being kicked to the curb for illegal immigrants. And here's the deal. I've been saying this again. I said it in the last video last week on this, when we talked about the people in Chicago, how you had the situation with the town hall meeting and the woman was screaming at the top of her lungs, complaining over this. Look, they are kicking the black community to the back of the bus. I hate to put it in those kind of terms, but that's the easiest way to put it. And I've seen this happening slowly over the past 5 to 6 years, and Democrats just don't get it, especially black Democrats who put so much of their trust and faith in this party, who again openly hates them. So in this video, I took 2 clips, one from this, I guess it was some sort of town session outside, speaking rally or whatever. And then I'm going to also talk about the town hall that the mayor of New York gave as well. And you can see right here on the screen, this is what his position was not too long ago. So let's get into this and let's watch this, and I'm going to react to it. It's about 4 minutes long. We'll try and struggle through it.
All these resources that have not come to us, now you want to overly compensate for people who never lived here before, and we need to be taken care of first. And
you know what? This sounds a lot like a Black Panther movie where it was about taking care of your own community. Or how about this? How about Make America Great Again? It's about securing your own first. It goes back to the founding fathers, James Otis, where he talks about it is a situation where a man's house is his castle. It's impossible for a person to take care of his community if his house is not in order. But the house is his castle doctrine deals specifically with God-given rights of property and home. So if you can have a property and home that you own, that is the basis for which you have your family living. And then from there, you can take control and take care of your family such that you can make a better community. That is the foundational crux. And that came from our founding fathers, James Otis in particular. One of the key principles there was that was the reason ultimately why we became independent, according to John Adams himself. Let's go on here and let's keep listening.
foremost before anything else happens here.
Why would any leader put our black communities already riddled with crime at further risk by placing
Okay, why would you put any community ahead of it? But I'm saying this here in the context of this video. Black people, you vote so highly and so out of control majority to Democrats, you really have no leg to stand on at all. Your best leverage is to not vote at all or to vote a third party. Simple as that.
Vetted non-taxpayers steps away from our seniors, our children, and our homes we've worked so hard on our own to secure.
See right there, he even said it right there. Our own homes secure. It goes right back to what I said before about James Otis.
We are at war, people. Our communities are at war. They are violating our communities, and we asking that we across the country, and we asking and we're demanding for office of Black America, or whatever you want to call it, to deal with issues like this.
You can demand all you want. It's not going to happen because they know you're going to vote for him anyway. You can shuck and jive and you can, oh yeah, we're sure going to show the boss, man. We sure going to show boss and we're going to demand this, demand that. Boss don't care because boss knows that you are going to vote for him anyway. Why should boss even care? He's not going to care. The only way the boss is going to care is if you don't show up to the polls and vote for period.
I did get placed on a wait list, but I was told that the immigrants would take priority.
So this guy basically said, look, I was put on a waiting list and I was put to
In the back of the book.
for a migrant. Unreal.
That's a story that a lot of people don't know, and it hurt me. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I understand we need to be humanitarian, but these people my participants are third and fourth generation Chicagoans, born, bred, fed, and raised here.
Right. Who has more stake in this country? The people who live here, who have lived here through generations, their moms, their grandmoms, their great-grandmothers and fathers and all of that. Who has more stake in this country than the people who've actually lived here? The people who lived here. It's unfair to have people come in. And you may say, or this gentleman may say, about humanitarian, well, there's a way of doing humanitarianism. It's not bringing them into your borders illegally outside of all your laws and statutes and regardless of any state's boundaries, and federalizing these policies so that you have to force people into these communities. That's not right, because they're not paying taxes, they're not citizens. And whatever happened to the certain thing that happened 2 years ago with a certain thing where people have to wear masks? There's no one being vetted for that either, dare I say. So it is just a total preposterous policy.
My grandmother, Mayrella Carrington, rest in peace, always said, Craig, charity starts at home first, and then it go abroad.
Politically, having over 500 people in our community would completely wipe out any interest we have.
Many of these migrants.
Now they're finally figuring it out. But here's the thing. Are you going to connect the dots to actually do something about it at the voting box? I don't think they will, because what's going to happen is they'll get all mad and uppity. I'm mad about this. I'm mad about that. But next thing you know, there'll be something happen in the media where the media will tell him, look what Republicans are doing. Look what America or white America is doing. You need to vote for Democrats because we're the only ones who can protect you from these evil people. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to say, oh, you know what? We're going to forget all the issues that happened this past year of this migrant issue and everything else. And we're going to go and step and fetch it for this party once again. And the Democrats know it.
Have been dumped in our neighborhoods without a plan in place to monitor and house them long term.
I'm not selling nothing. And I keep telling people, you don't have to move. If you sell, they gonna come in. If you don't sell, we gotta stand strong. That's right.
You got to stand strong by not selling, but also by voting in a block, or just not vote at all. Don't even worry about voting for Republican. Maybe that's too big a step for you. Maybe it's too big a step to vote for any party other than Democrat. Just don't vote.
Support. And let me tell you something.
So this is the mayor of New York. And like I said, I put on the screen again what he tweeted not too long ago and where he stands today.
The New Yorkers, never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City.
Well, first of all, it's already destroyed for other reasons, but he's right. And there is no ending to this. It's because the narrative is more important than people's individual liberties and rights, because we secularized our entire society where God is taken out of everything. And therefore, if God is taken out of everything, he no longer has the say of who gets rights. You have two options when it comes to rights. Does it come from people, the government, or does it come from the almighty creator, God himself? Those are your two options. And we were founded on the latter, but guess what? The former is now what's happening. And because of that, the narrative is more important than individual liberties, because there's other underlying agenda there in place. Obviously, Marxism.
Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month.
10,000 migrants.
One time we were just getting Venezuela. Now we're getting Ecuador. Now we're getting Russian speaking coming through Mexico. Now we're getting Western Africa. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City.
Of course. But you know what? America is such a bad country. So if it's such a bad country and people here in America who live here, these leftists, want to downgrade America as this horrible country which is oppressing everyone, but yet it's not stopping these people from coming in. And they're coming into the southern border, which, by the way, the Biden administration sued Arizona and Texas for their border policies. For one, I think one was a border that's going on through the Rio Grande, and the other one was a border which is basically constructed through rail cars. In both cases, the Biden administration sued to have those removed. The Texas Rio Grande border that's actually been given a stay. As for now, a judge said, you know what, well, you can keep it in place for now, but I don't have my hopes up that that's going to stay in place. I think they're going to have that removed too, because I don't think the governor of Texas is really that strong to begin with.
And everyone is saying it's New York City's problem. Every community in this city is going to be impacted. We had a $12 billion deficit that we're going to have to cut. Every service in this city is going to be impacted.
These guys are just so, if it wasn't affecting everyone in this country who had nothing to do with this, who voted for these policies to not be implemented, it would be one thing, but everyone's being affected by this because Democrats make stupid decisions based off of stupid narrative. Let's just cut it there. I'm done with this. This is ridiculous. I mean, I think I've gotten through every single point that I wanted to point out here as best I can. So what are your thoughts on this? I mean, obviously this is a problem, but I think to me, the ultimate message here is the irony. And it's the fact that these people want to be respected. They want to be heard, but yet time and time again, they continue to go back to the party that put those policies in place. And again, that party openly hates them, but it doesn't seem to matter. So I don't see anything changing.